Let me see if I can give you one of them sway intros, man. Let me see here. Let me see. Hold on. Wait. Okay, I met this brother at the swag shop, and I loved his energy. Brother had the youthful mixed with the uncle vibes going on. And then he invited me to shoot footage for the beer bust. Then he invited me down to the music room for his other events. And what I found out, this man is one hell of a curator. This dude is an artist. He's a cultural icon. What the fuck else can I say, man? Go ahead and introduce yourself, E, man.
Hey man, you covered it, man. My name is Ernest Hood, aka DJ Easy Money. Artist E Hood. Artist name is E Hood. Yeah, I'm just a cat in the struggle, man. Out here, trying to knock shit down with my brothers, man.
Okay, man. Now, brother, do you remember the first day I met you?
I do,
Okay.
man. Yeah. Um, so yeah, like the good brother mentioned, I did work at the swag shop on Edgewood, and my roots in the city of Atlanta go back, you know, further beyond that, of course, but that was when we originally connected, and I had a beer therapy event that I was doing at the swag shop. Uh, I was always active in this neighborhood since before I worked at the swag shop, but that kind of that location was what brought a lot of the community that comes around Ernie's in the Cut now together.
Okay. Now, before we get into all of that, all the stuff you got going on, brother, I want to talk about the man himself. Like, how did you come to be where you are right now? Like, give me a brief run through.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So again, I'm Ernest Hood. I was born in Gary, Indiana. Grew up in Denver, Colorado. Shout out to the Midwest. And I just had some very nurturing parents who they noticed the gift. They saw that I had the ability to do visual art a little bit better than my peer group, and they started to nurture that gift. They helped me cultivate it, and they also gave me the power to be an individual, and that power is what led me into my career path as an entrepreneur, as a visual artist, and I mean, that's pretty much the backdrop to, or the foundation to what you see now is, just my parents putting that belief in myself, putting that sense of um, self-identity, self-worth, individuality in me, and that's what I operate on today. You know what I'm saying? It's like pretty much the best job that I can have. Like I consider myself, I always tell people I don't have a job, right? But that's because I'm basically me every day, and some kind of way it works out where that is profitable enough for me to sustain myself.
Already. Now, did you start out as a barber, as a DJ? Like, because you wear a lot of hats, so which one came first?
My first love was art. Visual art was the thing that I jumped into first as a kid. Barbering, I discovered at around 13 years old. My mom was my barber, and eventually she said, "Well, you can do this for yourself." I asked her for the clippers one day. She gave them to me. I started cutting my own hair, and I was already good at it. I guess because I was an artist, I just kind of had a method of seeing things in my head and then making them look the way that I envisioned them. So I did that on myself. Other friends around school, everything, family, they saw my haircuts. They was like, "Oh, I want you to do this for me." It's like, if you doing this on yourself, then I can imagine you could do it for me. So that's where the barbering piece came in. Um, Fast forward to about 18 years old, I started working in the field as a professional. While a lot of my friends were going off to college, I was off in the workforce, and then yeah, I mean, I had to take it seriously, of course, because I had a kid at a pretty young age. I was around 19 when I had my first daughter, so like the career, having an actual occupation important. And so it was just a blessing that that skill, that talent kind of was the catalyst for me to be able to launch my own career as a barber. And essentially that was my vehicle to get me to Atlanta. I mean, it introduced me to a lot of professional individuals, and that's where I was able to learn my game from, like the school of life, just by servicing professional men, you know what I'm saying? And then yeah, so like I said, I ended up coming to ATL because a lot of the relationships that I had fostered through barbering in Denver, man, shout out to homie Big John, Yusef, that brought me here. You know what I'm saying? Great friends of mine ended up moving their mom down here, and their mom's birthday also happens to be 2 days after my birthday. And I came here 1994 to celebrate my birthday and to visit moms, and it also happened to be Freaknik. So you know that left a lasting impression on me, and I realized I like Atlanta for potential relocation. And then you know some years after that, I actually made the move and came down here around the time when Cash Money was taking over for the 99 and 2000s. And yeah, the rest is history, man. The city embraced me, and I was able to, you know, not only do the barbering thing, but, you know, parlayed a lot of my network here to start doing art here. And yeah, eventually worked at some of the top salons and shops in the city. And I mean, I covered the full gamut. Like I worked out of my living room, I worked out of hood shops, I worked out of, you know, upscale salons. And yeah, I don't regret any of it, man. So right now, those are the wings that I'm floating on, man.
Most definitely. Now you said that seems to be a reoccurring theme with a lot of people who end up moving to Atlanta. They came just to visit, and they ended up loving the vibe so much that you said, you know what, this could be home for me. Matter of fact, I myself can relate to that story. Okay, so being a Gary, Indiana kid, growing up in Denver, Colorado, and then relocating permanently to Atlanta, Georgia, that's one hell of a journey across the map, bro. So what does that do? You know, what kind of outlook does that shape for you being in so many different locations on the map?
For myself, you know, I'm always connected to my roots. So Gary, Indiana, my childhood, I have like very fond memories of just being loved on by my family on both sides. You know, we had big families out there. Shout out to Small Farm and Gary. And, you know, I'm like very much rooted in that family first type of culture. And yeah, I mean, so that gave me the confidence, you know, and that gave me that sense of self-identity to be able to go anywhere and be me and know who I am in that space. So when I was in Colorado, as a youngster out there, I just was running around having fun, making friends, other people who were on that kind of on that vibe, you know what I'm saying? And ever since, that's who I attract. I attract a community of individuals who are good with being who they are, you know what I'm saying? And I try to allow people to be who they are around me wherever I'm at. And a lot of times it's not even about the people, it's about my personal experience with the city that I'm in, with my surroundings. And I just love to explore. I love going and seeing and doing. It's about, you know, exploration and discovery for me anywhere I'm at, including New York. I spent a stint of time in Brooklyn. Shout out Brooklyn. You know, went up there and really launched my art career on a different level there as an adult. And so ever since I got that experience in a really big international city, it kind of just broadened my scope of how to move everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So that's, in a nutshell, kind of what that looks like for me is I can go wherever with what I have and plug it in, and I feel like there's going to be a community for it.
Right, and the one thing that struck me about you is you are one hell of an eclectic dude, bro. It's like nigga, there is no canister to your style, bro. Like you, like even down to your clothing, bro. I never know what the fuck you gonna come in here wearing. You know what I mean? And then it translates to the music. So, bro, how does that correspond with the neighborhood you're in, man? Like what piece do you play in the puzzle of where we are right now?
Oh man, great question. So I was attracted to this area energetically. I feel like because of the history of the area and the significance of what that history means, not only to Atlanta but to the black community at large.
Right, and we're talking about the old Fourth Ward.
We're talking about the old Fourth Ward, home of the civil rights, the birthplace of the civil rights movement. We like a block away from where Dr. King and Queen Coretta were running around, organizing, protesting, partying, everything. And that energy I connect to because growing up I always saw my parents very connected to their community. They loved to entertain, but they were people about the movement. And so this space, this area, I think is the sweet spot that balances those two dynamics. We know that there's a history of the black business movement here. There's Sweet Auburn Fest, which was started by James Brown, just doing a free concert for the community. You know what I'm saying? At the height of his career, and he would bring people like the LaBelles and just anybody you could name who was a top tier music or performance artist at that time. You would be able to see them right around these same blocks, where concerts in this city were like cutting edge for the black community. And so yeah, I mean, that obviously attracted me to the area, and I also felt like I had a duty to interject my energy here to help elevate it, to help, continue the legacy of the area, and, push it forward, take it further. So that was a part of my my reason for plugging in with the swag shop and, having a actual branded brick and mortar storefront to operate from. And I mean, even if I can digress a little and talk about the history of barbering and the black barber.
Absolutely.
The black barber shop was one of the first businesses that the black community actually had ownership over and had full autonomy over. And because of that shop, those shops were a lot more than just a place where you came and got your grooming services. They, if you needed a job, you knew to go tap in there. It was an institution. You could connect with different people in the community if you needed whatever resources, information. That was pretty much where you went to gain that. Even just how it shapes the lives of younger men, how you're able to be an influence, an example, a role model, an impressionable image for the young black boy that's coming in the barbershop, and I've been in Atlanta long enough to see kids get their first haircuts as toddlers, and now they're seniors at Morehouse College. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you've literally watched clients grow up.
I've helped raise kids in this city and young men in this city. Yes.
Okay.
Like, I got a lot of nephews out here.
Okay, you know what? That's commendable. We need that, and that's what I love about this place right here, which we're gonna get more into as far as the importance of what you got going on right now. But before I touch on that, let me ask you this, bro. because I talk to actual natives from the soil of the city, and they talk about old Fourth Ward and how different it looked back in the Gap versus to where it is now.
Right.
And even just me being here these few short years that I've been here, I'm noticing a lot more vanilla activity coming through. We'll just put it that way. Euphemism, fuck it. You know, we'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
So, given the history that we got going, given the history that we have, like you said, we got Dr. King's childhood home a stone's throw away from here. You got the King Center, you got the Ebenezer Church where he preached at, as well as a litany of all other black history. So, seeing that that's starting to pale out a little bit, so to speak, how important was it for you to establish this establishment here in the neighborhood, given all that I just said?
Man, listen, because the urban landscape across America and every major metropolitan city is changing and transforming right in front of our eyes, an establishment like this is probably some of the most important work that I'll do in my lifetime and in my career. As an entrepreneur, as an artist, just as a black man, you know, because these are the things that we will always have total ownership over. I mean, even when we can't own all of the real estate, an institution like this allows us to keep ownership of the culture, you know, so. And that's something that just can't be stripped from you, right? It's inside you. And we all recognize it within each other when we see each other. And that's why a spot like this is so important, because we get to come here as a gathering place and connect as community and as family, you know what I'm saying? And that's, to me, that's just something that I feel like historically will maintain its level of significance, you know, for decades to come, you know what I'm saying? Like, future generations will be able to look back on a spot like this and see a tangible landmark that they can go to and feel, you know, and know that cats was, you know, like, we put it down. Like, we left something here for them to be able to springboard off of, you know, and take it further.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about the actual spot that we're in right now. Ernie's in the cut. Brother, take me to it. Like, just real quick, take me to it. Take me through it. How did this come to be from day one? Okay. Well, no, not even from day one. From the concept in your head. Go from there.
Okay, Ernie's in the cut, 412 Chamberlain Street. This was pretty much something that I manifested from a vision that came to me when I was figuring it out. Things like, okay, so first of all, the swag shop shuts down for COVID, right? And at that time, I was just happy to have my time back. I was like, okay, great. The world is shut down. Now I can do whatever I want to do with my time. I can be whatever I want to be. I can create now. And that's always been my sweet spot. But a friend of mine who worked in a black-owned film production studio up in Tucker, he said, hey man, why don't you just come and hang out at the studio sometime, man? You can come up there and cut hair. And so I started going to the studio, hanging out, you know, cutting hair, doing art, learning about, you know, film and video production type work. And they actually ended up allocating an area in the back of the studio for me to be able to create my own mini version of this. And, you know, the music was a big part of it. I would just be back there, man, vibing out to vinyl. And a lot of times when they would do photo shoots in the studio, they start just loving the aesthetic of my space and wanted to shoot in there. So that gave me the notion that, okay, this could be this could be the actual business model that I roll out. At the time, I was still kind of building it in my head, and then my new little baby girl ends up being conceived, and the swag shop reopens, and I even go back for a second, but I know now that whatever money that I was earning as an employee was not going to cut it, going forward.
Gotcha.
So, I began to look for other locations because the studio was shutting down. They were moving. And so I had to shut that whole operation down. I had to, cut my ties with the swag shop. And now I'm out here floating on my angel wings again. So, great friend of mine and client allows me to set up shop in his office, which is on the 3rd floor of the Oddfellows building located on Auburn Ave, 2 blocks over from here. So I'm in there, it's going cool. But after about 3 months, his neighbors began to complain about me having traffic in the building after the hours of everybody else's operating time. And around the time when I was still at the swag shop, I met the gentleman who owns this building, who's now my landlord. Shout out Brock.
Shout out to Brock.
So Brock already started allowing me to have some functions in the space next door, just on the pop-up tip. So I was able to do a couple gallery events, and when the situation on Auburn ended up drying up for me, I just get this call like the next day from Brock saying, hey, I know you were looking for a spot. My tenant moved out. This used to be a tattoo parlor. He said that, the folks that moved out, and I have a space available if you're still interested. So I was like, listen, I'll be there tomorrow. I need keys. I'll have a check for you, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
man, look at God.
Let's get it,
Right.
So that pretty much was a seamless transition, man. Rent a U-Haul and move things from over there to this 300 square feet of space that we're in. That's now the very cherished Ernie's in the Cut.
Yes, it is, and it's
a grooming gallery.
It's a grooming gallery. It's a barbershop meets a fucking art gallery meets a speakeasy, a nightclub, some of everything, bro. it's literally whatever you want it to be, depending on what your flavor is. Now, how important was that for you to be welcoming to some of everybody?
Well, when you do hair, you realize that your clientele is everybody. Anybody who has hair that needs your services is, it's your clientele, and you need to be able to appeal to a broad, diverse group of folks. Well, I already have that ability as an artist, because art is universal as well. So that was pretty simple for me to be able to transition to giving my space that international appeal that the city has, but also keeping it very much like unapologetically black,
No doubt.
making sure that the creative community understood that this is a hub for us.
And you know what? Pause right there. I don't mean to interject, but bro, I got to mention this because we fuck it. Let's just talk about Wednesday nights. You know what I mean? Because that's that's like the flagship event of Ernie's in the Cut. And it's funny that you mentioned that about this being unapologetically black, because given, the new elements that's moving in, there was a little bit of a clash when this first got started.
Yeah, Karen them was tripping. I ain't gonna flex, bro. Like, so we talked about the history of this neighborhood. We talked about how it's transitioning. And a lot of the newcomers to the area, they had a problem with the black culture of the area.
Now, ain't that a bitch though? Ain't that some shit?
Yes, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I didn't mean to cut you off. Please continue, brother.
But, you know, I realized, like, how can I really expect them to appreciate black culture if they're not black? Like, you're not a melanated person, so your soul may not connect to the same things that my soul connect to, and that people who look like me soul connects to. So it's like, look, man, you're that little screaming toddler over in the corner that I'm gonna make sure you're fed. I'm gonna make sure you ain't got shit in your diaper, but I'm still carrying on with my agenda as a responsible parent for your ass. You know what I'm saying?
Good analogy. Good analogy.
Yeah, but you know, their screams are connected to APD. You know what I'm saying?
Which I have a photo of the police pulling up on you know what I'm saying, one of the opening nights.
Yeah. So, you know, with that, I was able to, I had to adjust and adapt a little bit, you know, because we were definitely on a trajectory to basically just have this whole corridor activated based off of a weekly happy hour networking mixer kickback.
Right. And at one point in time, there was some kind of thing where you couldn't be on the sidewalk or some kind of, what was that going on?
Well, the sidewalk is the public right of way. And the way the public right of way works is if you're a citizen, then the public right of way is you have a right to that space.
It's your domain.
So we decided to use this stretch of public right of way in a unique, creative way. And it attracted a lot of folks. You know, people were happy to see it. They were excited about it. They were celebrating it. And yeah, again, that just didn't quite mesh with the agenda, I guess, of some of the, we'll call them neighbors.
Okay, I got you. Okay. So overall, how were you able to overcome that? Because, you know, you're still here doing it. So how were you able to overcome that?
Well, the strategy that I had to implement was a vertical expansion. So the 300 square feet that we started in, I had to move to upstairs and basically start to bring some of the crowd from outside on the sidewalk inside and upstairs.
Okay, so you have control of the downstairs and the upstairs.
Yeah,
so it's two levels.
We were able to grow. Yeah, we were able to grow the business a little bit.
Okay, congrats.
Over the past couple years, and now we're rolling up on 3 years, and now we got 3 levels.
Okay, come see, there you go. Look at God. Look at God.
Yeah, who knows? 5 years, we might be owning the real estate.
And man, one time for the culture.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now that said, brother, you know, just winding things down. First and foremost, if I don't say anything else on camera, I just want to say congratulations. I appreciate what you all are doing, you, Lurch, and everybody in attendance. Thank you so much. We absolutely need this, especially in a city like Atlanta, a neighborhood like Old Fourth Ward. So, brother.
Sure, thank you.
So, no doubt, appreciate it. So, what's next for Ernie's in the Cut and all that's connected to it?
Okay, so next up, we have, so we're bringing in culinary artists featuring and highlighting, showcasing different chefs and food service concepts. We're planning a block party. We've attracted a new neighbor. Shout out Gip Goody, man. Shout out Gip.
Shout out to Gip, man. Dungeon family. Shout out.
Yeah, the whole DF, man. So by Gip being my neighbor with his non-alcoholic beverage line that's infused, and us partnering in a sense, we were able to attract the new tenants next door, Atlanta Influences Everything, who also have a location in the Hartsfield Jackson Airport. So this whole international corridor type situation is now starting to really, gain its footing. And one of the things that we're going to be doing going forward is we're going to be establishing an art district on this section of the block. And another thing that we're going to be doing is buying the real estate. We're going to own the property that we're in, and then start to expand by duplicating the model in different cities and eventually other countries.
All right, man. And I gotta make mention of this before we go. Just getting back.
Oh, we're making a movie. We're making a movie.
Okay,
we're making a whole movie. Yes.
A documentary.
Yes, documentary.
Okay, what's your aim on that one?
So the documentary is going to be called Every Day is Wednesday. That's our working title, and we're definitely going to capture what Way Back Wednesday is, what it means to the community, the different individuals that come through to make it what it is. Yeah, shout out Lurch, man, T-Rex, man, Flex, man, AOS, like just the entire community that's come around this place, supported it, and empowered me to actually be able to move forward with the vision for it, So yeah, we're gonna put that into a film project and see where that can go. But I definitely want to show more people what we've created here, and share it with folks, because I feel like it may be inspiring. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And I got to make mention of this because we talked about, the quote unquote neighbors, the newcomers coming in who didn't understand the black culture that was taking root. But at the same time, you also had others who did appreciate the black culture, because you've had people from other countries come to check out Ernie's in the Cut. Like,
yes.
toot your horn on that, brother. You know what I'm saying? Tell them about that.
Well, again, this is
you had French people come through here.
I did. Yeah, folks from the actual delegates from the actual embassy came, enjoyed, and loved the space. We get visitors, tourists from all around the world all the time coming by here, taking pictures, and just saying how much they appreciate it. So, Ernie's in the Cut for me it's a grooming gallery. It's an institution, and the institution actually uplifts culture. It uplifts arts. It empowers creatives to be the best that they can be. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have a gallery show under your belt, then like this could be the place where you get that first exhibit under your belt, and people get to see you and celebrate your art. You know what I'm saying? You can come here and be creative. We have DJs, producers, MCs, singers. The full gamut of talent, cinematographers, videographers, photographers, writers, poets, you name it, anything that is connected to our culture, you can connect to it here. You can encounter it here. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I am proud of that. I am proud of the fact that, this thing that the seed that my parents planted in me has grown to be something that so many people can benefit from. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Cheers to Ernie's, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Long live the cut, bro.
Long live the cut, brother. Okay, man. Any closing words you want to say? You want to say before we take this down?
Man, I just want to say that I am overwhelmed with gratitude. I'm humbled to be in a position that I am to own something like this. And I always tell everybody that I am the person that works here the most, but essentially this is all of ours, and I encourage folks to treat it that way. So we got a spot.
Yes, we do. Enough said, brother. Once again, congratulations, and I wish you much more success, brother.
Yeah, man. Cheers. Oh my God, the 404 record store is loading. Okay, Fofo Record Store is a concept that I created. Like, so Ernie's in the Cut has different businesses that are offsprings that are coming, into their maturity as I'm developing them, as I'm building this concept. It's allowing space for other concepts to be birthed here, almost like an incubator. So the Fofo Record Store is one of them. And there's gonna be many more, but that's something that y'all need to check for, like yesterday morning.
All right. Anything else, brother?
Be good to yourself. Be good to yourself. Love on your loved ones. Love on your community, and when your neighbors ain't being neighborly, just keep it pushing.